Today's First Alert afternoon weather update is brought to you by Lockhart Roofing.
Well, good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here live for our 2 p.m. First Alert weather live stream. I do want to thank everyone for joining me here today, as always. If you have any questions, head over to our Facebook page at WNEM TV5 News. There I will try to answer any of the questions that you may have about our weather here through the rest of today, into the rest of the week, into our weekend. I do say, though, I don't always get the chance to look over there, so if I do miss your question, I do apologize for that. But today we're going to be taking a look at the rain chances that are possible through the end of the week and then towards our weekend, just some updates for Halloween and much more on your weather. So we'll start off looking outside. This is at our Birch Run camera, where you can see there's some light clouds throughout the sky, but the sun is peeking through. It's not totally overcast. Really a pretty nice afternoon here on this Wednesday. That looks to continue here probably over the next couple of days, at least through today and tomorrow. We may get some more lake effect rain and cloud cover as we roll into Friday. That's just how our atmosphere does look to set up as we get through the next couple of days. As always, I do want to look across the country at some of the weather, some of the cameras that we have across the country. And we're going to start off looking down at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, an area that has a somewhat active couple days here of weather. Obviously, not going to be directly impacted by Hurricane Melissa, but is going to be seeing some impacts, obviously, with some turbulent water. We can already see lots of waves there at Myrtle Beach. Not going to see many people there in the water here over the next couple of days with that hurricane out in the Atlantic that will move to the northeast over the next couple of days. So again, won't have a direct impact, but it's enough. You're definitely going to see some water headlines there across much of the East Coast as we get into the weekend. They also have that low pressure system to the northwest that is bringing rain for areas like Tennessee, Kentucky. That'll eventually possibly bring us a rain chance here in Michigan, but that's also giving them some cloud cover, maybe giving them some rain chances here today. So obviously a very active weather pattern for our eastern states here in the United States. Then we look onto the west coast. This is Rosebush, Oregon. A pretty quiet day there, just some cloud cover, the sun trying to peek through, but looking dry and just a pretty nice sight there. If you are someone that has any family member, they looked at pretty nice weather out to the west. Finally, we'll see in a little bit their outlook for the next couple of weeks. It looks to be warmer than average, something they haven't really had here over the last couple of days. They've been really stuck in some colder air. That may end for them. But we move back to Michigan and we look at our sky tracker, and what we see is just some light clouds developing through the 2 p.m. hour that has continued throughout much of the midday and should continue into our afternoon. Now, there is a little bit of a area to the east that you are seeing more sunshine toward Tuscola, Lapeer, and Sanilac counties. That should continue to spread to the west, so I do think we'll get more sunshine as we get into our afternoon. But again, it's not going to be totally blue skies. You're definitely still going to have some cloud cover hang around. Now, as we zoom out across the sort of eastern side of the country, I did want to look at those two low pressure systems. So this is this low that's in eastern or western Tennessee right now, northern Mississippi and Alabama. We can see that spin of the low bringing rain chances to southern Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, through Kentucky and Tennessee. This is that low that could bring us some rain chances on Friday. Now, I think there's been a signal, or at least what we're seeing from the models is there's a signal that this low may continue to move east. If it continues that track, it's definitely going to lower our rain chances. The farther east it goes, the less chance that wraparound rain that we see on the western side will end up reaching us as we get through the next couple of days. And then obviously Hurricane Melissa just starting to pass Cuba, heading towards the Bahamas, and will continue to move to sort of the north-northeast. I'll just highlight it real quick with these arrows. That's going to be the direction. Again, north-northeast. Still some debate with the models there about what the exact direction is, but most of the weather models are agreeing right now that that's going to stay off of the mainland United States, out in the Atlantic towards Bermuda here over the next couple of days. Now, temperatures across the board here in mid-Michigan, it's mid to lower 50s. You have West Branch at 55, Standish 55, Saginaw also at 55. Those are just a few of the areas that are leading the way here across the area. You do have those lower 50s, Bay City at 50, Port Hope at 50, Lapeer actually at 57. That just popped up. Is now leading the way. So definitely similar to what we've been seeing. We've really been sort of stuck in this temperature range of the upper 40s and lower 50s now going back at least a week through this weekend, and it will continue for the next couple of days. In terms of winds, it has been pretty breezy at times today. It's winds out of the north-northeast at 5 to 15 miles per hour. It's definitely noticeable. Now, it's nothing extreme, but as you're getting out and about, you're definitely going to see some of those flags, some leaves falling from the trees, and just definitely a noticeable wind. Now, in terms of wind gusts, let's see if I can get that loaded up for us real quick. Is this it? I don't know if this is it. No, that is not it. This is it. In terms of wind gusts, up to 25 miles per hour could be expected through the day. Flint up to 22 right now. Alma up to 22. Owasso, Lapeer, Bad Axe, just some areas across mid-Michigan up to 15 to 20 miles per hour. So again, definitely a noticeable wind as you're getting out and about here on our Wednesday. Now, as we get into tonight, our lows are going to be pretty similar to what we've been seeing. It's upper 20s to the mid to upper 30s, a little warmer as you move to the south-southeast. Even some areas being in the lower 40s along our shorelines there in the Bay. Bay City at 41, Port Hope at 43. Sandusky could be very close to the 40s. So Saginaw could be very close. Midland will be another area that maybe get stuck in the mid to upper 30s, and then those 20s there up in Ogama and Roscommon counties, and West Branch at 28, and Houghton Lake at 29. Now, as we get into our Thursday highs, sit right back in the mid to lower 50s, similar again to what we've been seeing, maybe a little warmer to the west and the north. You see lower 50s in areas like Lapeer, Sandusky, even Flint at 53, Saginaw 52, and then as you move north, getting more of those mid 50s. So closer to average for this time of year. Average is now continuing to drop into those mid to lower 50s, 54, 55 degrees. Just a sign of the times as we get through the end of October into the start of November, and then obviously getting closer to seeing temperatures even cooler than what we have for the next couple of days. And then winds for the next couple of days, sitting right around 5 to 15 miles per hour with wind gusts up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. So this is 7 a.m. tomorrow on Thursday. Winds still out of the northeast at, again, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Picks up just a little bit towards midday tomorrow, up to 25 miles per hour from the north-northeast. And then as that low starts to move a little bit closer, we may start to see more of a shift in our wind direction to be mostly out of the north, still though at 10 to 20 miles per hour. So it doesn't really increase our winds. It just starts to change that direction for Thursday. Then as we get into Friday, we continue to see that shift of winds now out of the northwest. Still though, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Does pick up just a little bit into Friday afternoon. So maybe breezy for anyone that's going to be out for Friday Night Lights games for the first week of playoffs, or obviously Halloween. Any Halloween festivities going on Friday, you may be fighting some wind. So make sure you're holding on to that candy bag just a little bit tighter as we get through Friday afternoon / evening into the night. Looking at our hour by hour, there really isn't much to see for today into tomorrow. It's just going to be a mix of sun and clouds, especially tomorrow as that low pressure system does start to approach. We can see that with that rain chance to our southeast. But I think there's been a signal, like I said earlier in the stream, that this low may be a little bit farther east. And with that low being farther east, that wraparound rain just doesn't quite get there to mid-Michigan. Could we see some rain? I'm not going to count it out. There's still some debate about exact locations of the low. But for now, just expect the chance of some wraparound rain, some isolated chances for Thursday. Most should be dry for the afternoon. And then have clear skies through the night Friday. It's going to be into Friday morning that once we get that wind shift from the northwest that we start to see maybe some lake effect cloud cover, some maybe lake effect rain showers wanting to move through, especially into the afternoon. So I don't think it's going to be a washout. Don't cancel your plans for Friday. If you see this rain here, there's still some time for things to change. And again, I don't think it's going to go ruin your afternoon/evening plans, whether that's trick-or-treating or football or just anything on a Friday. I'd bring some rain gear, though. Just be prepared for that rain chance to develop and move through your area. It should be quick. It won't be long-term, but just enough to sort of be that annoyance as you're getting through our Friday afternoon, evening, and night, and then continuing into Saturday morning, continuing that rain chance. Very isolated, but still there. As we look at our 7-day forecast, it does show us that rain chance for Thursday into Halloween on Friday, and then a smaller chance Saturday morning. For temperature-wise, the next 7 days, it is a mix of 40s and 50s. And then seeing more isolated chances of rain as we get into next week. So just continuing that pattern of rain chances. A reminder as well, we're moving back the clocks this weekend, so make sure you remember that. You get that extra hour of sleep as you're getting through the weekend. That'll be nice for many who are off and just enjoying their weekend. Now, I'm going to take a quick break here. Once I come back, we are going to be looking more at Halloween, at some of the stats that we have. When we look at temperatures, what we should be at, what we're going to be at, and some of the sort of records and high records that we have for Halloween. So make sure you stay right here. Well, welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Stone Schaefer here for the second half of our 2 p.m. First Alert Weather live stream. It's going to be mostly about Halloween. We're just going to start off looking at our trick-or-treat outlook. I know obviously a lot of little kids and just a lot of family members getting ready to celebrate Halloween this Friday. Temperatures look to be mostly in the mid to upper 40s. You'll have partly cloudy to maybe mostly cloudy skies. A northwest wind at 10 to 15 and gust up to 25. So again, just make sure if you have any of those Halloween decorations outdoors, they're just in place and ready for these stronger winds. Obviously, make sure you're holding on to those candy bags you're getting out and about. And there is that chance of lake effect showers. It is a small one, but it is there. So you may want to bring that rain gear just in case you are in an area that does just get a quick rain shower as you're out getting candy or you're out at Friday Night Lights, because again, that is going on for the first week of playoffs. And it is going to be brisk out there with winds up to 25 miles per hour and temperatures in the 40s. Our wind chills will be in the lower 40s, upper 30s. So I don't think that's extremely that cold, but it's enough. You're definitely going to feel that cooler air as you're getting out and about for your Friday afternoon/evening plans. And then sunset for Friday for Halloween right around 6:27 p.m. So we're obviously having those pretty dark nights a little bit earlier in the day. you're definitely going to notice it, but be able to enjoy Halloween if that rain chance does avoid you as we get through Friday. Now, I did want to look at some of the almanac data that we have for Halloween, just in a few areas across mid-Michigan. We'll start off in Saginaw. Your normal low for Halloween is right around 38, with our sort of average normal high right around 54. So we're right there, most likely, as we get through the day Halloween. Obviously, as the sun starts to set and we're getting out and about, definitely going to be a little bit cooler than that average high. Flint, very similar. Average or normal low is right around 38. Your normal high is right around 55, so just a tad bit warmer there. But again, by the time we're out trick-or-treating or doing any of our Halloween festivities, you're definitely going to lose some of that temperature just because the sun sets. And then Holton Lake, your normal low is right around freezing at 32, and then that normal high is right at 50. So we're getting to that time of year. That normal low or normal high continues to drop, and it gets to a noticeable mid-40s, upper 40s here over the next month or so. So not the greatest thing. I know that upsets some people that just really want to enjoy the summer months that we had, but it's just that time of year. I think most of us are used to that Michigan winter. Now, what are some of the extremes, some of those records that we have for Halloween? The warmest is in 1933 at 79 degrees, so warm you're there. The coldest, that was 19 degrees Fahrenheit in 1925. So pretty long time since we've gotten those sort of extremes. Doesn't look like we're really going to get there for our temperatures. In terms of rain, it was in 2013, 1.14 inches. And then snow, one of the snowiest Halloweens was 0.5 inches in 2023. And actually, I will look this up real quick. I did see, and because it's in the area, Holton Lake, 2019, I believe, had like 4 inches. Let me see if I can find that graphic real quick. They actually posted a Halloween graphic on their social medias. The National Weather Service in Gaylord had it. So yeah, 2019, Holton Lake, 4.4 inches of snow. That is obviously quite a bit for Halloween, a little bit earlier in the season. Luckily, we don't have that for this year. We can enjoy a relatively nice Halloween. Just had, again, maybe a few rain chances out there as we get through Friday into Saturday. Now, as we look beyond the weekend into next week, it is that time of the week, Wednesday, where the Climate Prediction Center does update their weekly outlook. This is for next week. And what we see in terms of precipitation, we're in that zone here in mid-Michigan and almost all of Michigan of being equal chances of being below average or above average in terms of precipitation. So that doesn't mean it's going to be dry. There is some rain chances to start the week, but it just means that there really isn't a read on the atmosphere. And I will say, I think Hurricane Melissa's maybe just doing enough on the models that it's been pretty tough to forecast at times. They really struggle when you get that hurricane in the Atlantic. Now, it should be gone by then. And I think a common sight is we see this drier area in the central portions of the country. That may be a sign by the time we get through about mid next week, we may be on the drier end of things. But again, 7-day forecast, which we'll show here in just a second, does show a rain chance for Monday and Tuesday. It is isolated, but it may be there that we get some of that much needed rain. And then in terms of temperatures, for next week, we actually see a very large portion of the country is showing chances, probabilities of being above average for next week. A little warmer out there towards the western half of the country, but Michigan is pretty much mostly in that red. It's on the smaller end of the probability scale, but it is there. I think temperatures 50s next week, that would end up being above average if we are in the mid to upper 50s next week, because our average continues again to drop into the lower 50s and upper 40s. So we are getting there. If you're going to the eastern half of the country next week, they are seeing probabilities that will be below normal for their temperatures for this time of year. So definitely on the cooler side, I think low pressure systems of how they're setting up with Hurricane Melissa and this low pressure system that's over Tennessee, that's going to end up help pulling in some colder air as we get through the next couple of days, and then ends up reaching the East Coast as we get through next week. So that's most likely why they're seeing a colder outlook for next week. But I am about to end stream. Before we end it, I did want to take another look at our 7-day forecast, where again, we continue to see a mix of 40s and 50s, a little cooler on the weekend, where you see mid to upper 40s, rain chances for Thursday into Friday. Friday will be mostly that lake effect rain that we, again, are starting to hear more and more about. It's just typical for this time of year. And then another rain chance looks to pop up for Monday into Tuesday that, again, looks to be isolated for now. We'll have updates on that here over the next couple of days. And if you want updates on your weather all the time from the TV5 First Alert Weather Team, well, make sure you scan that QR code that's right below me. That'll send you over to the App Store or Google Play Store, where you can download the TV5 First Alert Weather app, where, again, we try to send updates all the time, especially as we get through the next couple of days with many people being outdoors for Halloween and just football games and just anything you might be doing. But as always, I want to thank everyone for joining me here on this Wednesday. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your day and a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you for joining us today.